Hello guys, I am Todd Blackman, your Essential Drummer, and today we're actually talking about lights. Huh? How come? You're a musician. Why are we talking about lights? Well, lights is actually kind of like a daily part of our life, and really lights is important for gig life. And I've only bought these lights, which is the Godox TL60s, and they're fantastic, and I'll explain why they're so fantastic in a moment. But lights are actually very important, especially if you're kind of doing your own projects, you're being a content creator, or you're just doing your gigs. Lights are so important, and there are some instances whenever you're doing like a cover band, your solo act, you need lights and all that. And there's sometimes in certain venues, they have their own lights, and some places they don't have their own lights. Lights actually help emphasize the music. It gives a visual show. Even though we're supposed to listen with our ears, 90% of the time people are listening with their eyes, and they love to see some fancy stuff. You know, like, woo, you know, exactly. So lights are so important. Now, I think I mentioned this before, or this was a different take and all that. So we're pretty much reviewing these lights I just bought. So these lights, for just two of these lights, like they were under $500. And I was like, whoa, that's quite a lot on lights. And I'll explain why they're worth that much money and all that, because they are worth it. I'm not buying $100 of these lights, not cheap ass lights. I'm not doing that because I'm not that type of guy. I want some good quality lights, like some good quality content and all that, and I want some versatility. And that's what you get. You get what you pay for. And so I'm paying for this versatility and all. So let's talk about these lights. So these are the Godox TL60s. And the reason why I got these lights is because, one, I'm a content creator, I'm a photographer, but most importantly, I'm a musician who gigs. And so with my cover bands, No Filter, you should check them out. They're pretty cool and all that. We play in Houston. You know, if you want us to book a show and all that for these payments of $19.99 and all that. So yeah, $1,000. So these lights I use for my cover bands, and so, and also other projects too. If they want me to use my lights as well, if they really like them. I use them for multiple purposes, and that's why I really like these lights, and they're great for that less than $500. You can actually get a 1-pack, 2-pack, 4-pack, and then you can expand on that. There's some people that really love to use these lights for music videos, and I'll show you in a minute. And all. So that's the biggest reason why I got these lights in the first place is, I'm going to take my glasses off to show you business and all that. So these lights are very versatile. I'm using them for work, photography, and I'm getting bang for my buck for these. You know, just for 2 lights, you can actually get a lot done with only these 2 lights on shows. And I'll show you some photo examples that one of my friends, Christian, took on this camera right here. I let him borrow it with the flash, and they were such great pictures and all that. So I want to thank him for that. And it really displays well, what these lights can do for your show and all that. Because here's the thing, I'm a photographer, but these lights I'm using mostly for my shows and all. So let's talk about all the features it actually has and all. Why is it even worth this much? Well, there's a lot of internal stuff that's going on and all. These lights do not heat up and all. If they do, you'd probably need to take them back. Which, my first time getting these lights, I needed to take them back because one of the lights was not working and the other one was working completely fine. It was like I turned it off, the lights were still on, the display wasn't working, and I was like, ah, crap. You know, I gotta send them back. So yeah, thanks to B&H, which they did, it wasn't their fault, it was the company, you know, at Godox, they kind of messed up, and also, but other than that, I'm in love with these lights. This is my second pair that I had to get a refund for the other one because I needed these lights for our upcoming gig over at Surfside in Texas and all that. That's over in Freeport. It's very far away from Houston, very far away, but it was worth the $1,200 we got from there. You know, it was pretty nice. And all. So these lights really help out with the gig stuff. And now let me kind of show you what it kind of has internally. it has a microphone internal, and I'll show you that feature in a minute. It has Bluetooth capability, so you can actually run through this device. You can actually run through your phone and all that. You can actually download the app, the Godox Light app. You sync these up, and you can control them with paired up or just one light at a time. Really good for that show. The only thing about this is that you don't have that total programmable thing, and you can definitely do it, but you have to buy a separate thing, which I'm not at that level yet. Well, which it has, I believe it's DMX capability. So on the bottom of the lights, you can actually run through the cables, which is like these cables right here, which I'm not even using quite yet. We're not at that level yet financially. So you're able to run these programmable type of things through the lights. You could program these lights and all that, but you can't do it through remote, or you can't do it through the iPhone. And I have to do a separate thing for that, which is really cool. But right now, you need to buy something separate. So what else does it have? Well, it definitely has. You can actually program with the remote which light you want to choose and all that. And there's so many different things in this thing. There's so many programmable features on here, and I'll show you those in a minute as like a display feature just on this. I do want to say there is more on the iPhone app than this and all that. So this is really great. This is really great. And for my gigs, I mostly use this and all that. And the things that are not on here, that's on the app, it's just the different gels and all that. So this one doesn't have like certain like gel packets that some of the photographers use. So they mostly use the app for that. Now you can probably still do it with this, but you just have to change the saturation and the colors, and I'll talk about that in a minute, which is now. So I'm going to give you a demonstration about like where you can use these lights. How can you use these lights? And I'll show you from iPhone vision and all that. So here's what it kind of looks like on the iPhone. Now these are the lights right here. And so this is where we are right here. There we go. See me? I see you. You see me? Haha. So this is what it kind of looks like. Right now, I am on CCT mode, which is basically just normal lights and all that. So the cool thing about this remote is that we have this wheel, the function button, so if you want to enter something. We got the dim button, HSI, RGB, and that's just difference between color wheel and just doing stuff very manual and all. So it has this Wi-Fi button, which on the back of these, you actually program, and this took a while for me to kind of figure out, but I finally did it. And so this is usually settings I would put in, and so you have to go on the back of the lights today and make sure that they all have the same settings and they're on and all. So we also got effects on here too. So, but we're going to do one step at a time. So let's just look at all these buttons right here. So these are really nice programmable buttons. Now, we got a little bit of warmer color. Maybe you want a little bit more warmness in either your photos or your videos, or just standard color. And you can have something a little bit more warm. Now I look like I'm from Jersey Shore. And also, so now there's more. Whenever I have private lessons, I usually say this, where, you know what, today you did such a great job. I'm going to give you the color blue. That's right. Now, sometimes if a student didn't practice, I'm like this. Yes. So whenever I have my students, I kind of do that type of thing. Now, this is not a music lesson type of stuff. This is actual shows I'm using. You know, so typically for red, I would use this for certain songs I can't think of, but there are songs that I kind of use for the color red. Now for the color green, yeah man, yeah, ooh, I'm such a bad fish, you know, so you can do that. Blue, this is really good for Everlong if you want to do Everlong. And then this one's a little bit of a lighter blue. We got this, magenta, and all that. We got yellow, which is kind of like a little bit more warmer than that. Then we got a very weak pink. Now also you can see the lights bleeding through on my TV and all that. Now we got the violet, and then we got the orange, which is kind of matching my hair, which is kind of very close to this, the CCT of 3200 and all. So these are all the buttons, and these are really great preset buttons, you know, because once you hit these, it's automatically going to the HSI wheel, the color wheel, you know, and so that's what basically H is. It's the hue. What degree hue do we have? You know, and you can see from right here, this is a very straight line of showing you like the color of the hue. So we're at 350, and we definitely know where 360 is. It's very close to 350. It's in that area. You know, to me, this is true red and all that. And where was I? Where was I? Oh yeah, 330. You know that, and then 0 is that complete red and all that from the color wheel. You know, we can see that from right here on this little wheel and all. So S is actually saturation and all that. So if I like that color and I was like just maybe a little bit of blend of whites in there, then we got a little bit of a softer red and all that. So there's a lot of versatility in this. And all. So let's go back to that red right there, even though it's not the most pleasant and all that. I usually like green sometimes. And all. So that was so let's go to the this one right here. So this is a little bit more customizable. You know, so maybe you want a little bit of mixture of green, and then maybe a little bit more red, and then with you want no blue. This is the color you get, which is kind of a little yellowish. And all that, it's a little different and all that. It's a little different. And also, yeah, so now let's go to the CCT. So we already talked about HSI, we already talked about RGB, we already talked about the Wi-Fi type of thing or Bluetooth capability. CCT, you can definitely make your things a little bit more warmer with these arrow keys. You know, so if you wanted to just bump it up subtly by the hundreds, you could use the right and left arrow. But if you want to go up to the thousands, you can use, well, the up and down arrow and all that. So, and it'll automatically adjust too. So that's with CCT. Now, here's the cool thing, is the FX. I use this a lot. I usually use this as intermission for my cover bands and all that. So I use these colors a lot for specific songs. But if there's a song that has a little bit of momentum or has a certain vibe, I would go to FX. This one I'm typically using for intermission and all that. So nothing too much happening. And the Roman numerals are just pretty much the speed of this function and all that. So what if you like this function, you just want a little faster? Well, I can move this arrow to Roman numeral 2. If I want a little faster, Roman numeral 3. Now this one is just kind of like flashing. This is really good for high action songs and all, like maybe Lenny Kravitz, maybe a Lenny Kravitz song. And all that. So it's really good for that type of stuff. I was born. So you can do that type of stuff. Now, this is kind of like a light, color light bulb. And the cool thing about this is that with this function, 2 of the lights are doing 2 different things and all that. So this side is going green, then this side is going yellow and all that. So it's off sync, which is a good thing. Now I can change the speed of that. And you can really tell now. And this is just seizure inducing. Now we got lightning pattern, which is a really cool one. And we could change the speeds of it or different rates of it and all. So yeah, add some thunder sounds and we got a realistic thunder. Now this is kind of like maybe a little bit of broken light bulb. And it really, the one thing I do wish from this is actually changing kind of like the hue and all that. Like maybe a warmer color or something like that. But still good for less than $500 for both of them. You know, not bad and all that. So then we got like a flickering TV type of thing. So you kind of see it changed a little bit. It's not extreme. Even at the free, it's very subtle very extremely subtle. Then we got I would use this for a romantic date if you wanted to. This is another intermission one I would actually do. So we got different moods with this candlelight. And it's kind of the same thing as fire, but it's a little bit more intense. It's really replicating that campfire. And then we got this one I use for Party in the USA, from Miley Cyrus and all that. So this is a really good one to kind of do for 4th of July. Then I shot the sheriff. You can use this light for that song and all that. And really, there's 3 different. To me, there's about 9 different versions of these lights. So you got police, you got fire truck, you got ambulance, and also so many different functions. So this one is music reactive. Now, I did mention, I believe I did, or that would have been a different take. I take so many takes with these. This is reacting to the microphone built in to the lights, which is really cool. And so that way you can actually, maybe you're doing a drum solo bit or something that's high intense, you can use these lights for that function. So you kind of get the point with that, with me doing that. And so really, I don't see a difference between Roman numeral 1 and Roman numeral 2. I don't see a difference at all. So I wish you could change the rate with your voice. And so, yeah, I wish that you could do that, but yeah, so you might not use that too much. And then we got SOS. Basically, this is just a pattern with not the voice at all. It's just a programmable pattern with just white. So the thing I kind of do wish, so that's all the functions. Now, I didn't talk about dim, but I'm pretty sure you could guess what dim is. Boom. And all that. So if the light's too strong, these are very powerful lights. They are equivalent to the sun and all that. So I could go full blast and they look really nice and all that. Here's the thing about the remote version. The remote version, like if I hold down, it's not moving. It will activate when I let go. A little delay. Now that's not a make or break type of thing for me and all that, but with the app version, if I raise it up, it immediately does it. It's really in sync. With the remote, it's not in sync. So that's the only thing about that. So really, I've talked about everything. Oh, except for the power button. But you know what that means. So we got the Wi-Fi, we got the FX, we got the CCT, HSI, and if you want to go to, RGB, but if you want to go to HSI, you click that again. Now we're on the color wheel, the hue wheel. So we got function, we got wheel, the dim, and all of these buttons. This is my favorite. This is my favorite one to do, which is 650 Kelvin. So that's pretty much with that version right there. Now I will not go through the app version because someone else has probably already gone through it. I just want to tell you as a musician's perspective how I use the lights for my bands and my cover bands and my experience with them. They are very versatile, very easy to use. Only thing I wish they kind of did is like maybe make an app version on a computer or something more programmable. So that way I can use like this stuff with Bluetooth wireless. And they have like a certain program where it's like you could sync it up with songs and then program it with the time. I wish it does have that function. That'd be a really, really excellent thing that they might do. But I don't think they will. I don't think they do. And all that. But it'd be really nice if they did. But overall, really great for $500. And in the future, if you have that DMX capability and you're running this stuff all through your computer with your music software, totally worth it and all that in the long run and all that. So not only I use this for music, I use this for photography and all that. So I'm making some really creative type of stuff with this. So like one side I might have blue and then another side I might have red and all that. Or maybe green and then purple and all that. And so you can definitely have so much creative possibilities and all. So the only thing about these is that I'm a musician. I have no clue about photography. But I make some really good pictures. So there's a specific kind of stance that I'm using, and you don't have to really get expensive stance, but if you really want your stance to last a long time, go for that. But I'm using mostly this type of stuff for my concerts and my gigs, which is kind of like the same thing. I'm using like a cheap old stand I'm getting from Amazon, and they're actually really good. It's really springy and bouncy, and gets the job done. I have to get a mount set for it too, because it doesn't. These stands don't come with mounts. It's kind of like a drum set. You buy the drums, but it doesn't come with the cymbals and the stands. And you got to buy that yourself, buddy. So it's kind of the same thing and all that. So at least it's not like a guitar where it's like you buy the guitar, but it doesn't come with the strings and all that. It's like, oh, you asshole. So the thing about this is you have to have the stands. Yeah, I got to buy the mounts. And the cool thing is with this, it comes, the lights, it comes with the case, comes with like the power adapter, comes with a mounting, but it's not the actual mount, but it's like an adapter. So that way you could clip it on. And all. So comes with that. That is pretty much a lot of stuff right there. That is pretty much everything that I can think of with these lights. And they're fantastic, very versatile. You probably have to bring an extension cord and a power outlet for these, depending on how you set these up for live situations. And also, very versatile. You know, you just have to bring some outside sources like a power strip, an extension cable, because sometimes at the venues they will not have them, but they should. They should have them. But you always want to be prepared and to have as many extension cables and power outlets as possible. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on this, very a lot, and I think you got really good content in here. And so yeah, what y'all think about this layout? You know, what y'all think about this camera? Huh? I like it. You know, everything else is blurred, but not me. That's what I get. That's what I pay for. No blurs on my face, just the background. So yeah, it makes it look fake. That's right. And so I'm Todd Blackman, your Century Drummer. Hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully.